Welcome to Brook and Bramble Farm Podcast
with Chris
and Micah,
where we talk about budget homesteading,
homemaking,
and whatever else is on our minds. We're back.
Here we are. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about how we do stay-at-home mom.
How I'm a stay-at-home mom.
That's what I meant.
You're not.
I'm not a stay-at-home mom. That's true.
You're a work away from home dad.
Yes, that is true.
A WAFHD.
Yes. That is what I am.
What do you want to say about it?
I don't know. I think you get a huge amount of comments of people that assume that we must be rich to allow you to stay at home.
That's true. I think so. Here's my experience with this. My experience is that I believe if both parents are on board completely, like prioritizing one parent staying home, I think it's doable with way less income than most people assume.
Yeah.
But I also have experienced that most people who would argue with that actually don't want to stay home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is kind of funny. I don't know why that happens. Like, if you want to work, just go have a job and don't pretend that you really want to be a stay-at-home mom.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that there are people who they feel like they need to be working.
Maybe.
And they don't really want to stay home with their kids. They, like you said, but
the bottom line ends up being they don't actually want to stay home. I found that again and again. Like, I try not to get into these conversations, but there have been times
they're fruitless conversations.
Because someone will be like, it's impossible in modern America.
Yeah.
So then
if you
counter that and say, well, actually it is possible because I'm doing that currently.
Yeah, they assume you're lying.
The back and forth ends up with them saying, okay, but why is it so bad that I want to work?
Right.
And then you're like, well, this is a different conversation.
Right. It's not about being a stay-at-home
You
mom.
actually do not want to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's fine, but don't say it's impossible.
Right. And
yeah.
I think there's that, and I think there's also this, like, there's certain people who feel like being a stay-at-home mom is a stigma.
Well, because it is.
Right, but I mean, like, I'm saying it shouldn't be.
Like, even just now we were watching The Office, and they were, like, having the women's meeting with Jan.
Yeah.
And Kelly was talking about how she didn't want to be a mom driving around in a minivan.
Yeah.
She wanted an SUV.
Yeah.
And then Jan, like, rolls her eyes or is like,
yeah,
ugh, this is like...
Like, you want to be a mom, and that's the highest calling of a woman.
Honestly, I can't think of a show that I've watched where there hasn't been some kind of, like, oh, you're... Like, the mom is the joke. Like, the stay-at-home mom is a joke.
Yeah, she's always the joke, or she's always, like, horrifically oppressed in reality. Because people think, like, oh, she's so nice. But then it turns out that she's, like, her husband's abusive or something like that. Yeah. And that's why she's a stay-at-home mom. Even
in, like, the American Girl doll books, we were reading the Kirsten, I think it was the Kirsten books.
Yeah.
And there's a line where, like, Kirsten's teacher is like, well, I always knew I didn't want to just be a mom.
Right.
Or, you know, there's always something like you're just a mom.
Right, as if being a mom is some sort of lowbrow calling for a woman.
Yeah, I really feel like that's intentional.
Oh, it totally is. It comes out of, like, some of the movements from the late 1800s and suffrage and all that stuff. Like I think it's fine I think it's great that women can vote.
Wait, what are you saying?
I think it's great that women can vote. I don't think that
Well, it went too far. The pendulum swung too far. Because in reality, raising your children is a ministry. It's hugely important. If you love your children, you should care about how they're raised, right?
Yeah. And you know, we feel that being a stay-at-home mom is important enough to us to make sacrifices for that to happen. And anyone who says, oh, we can't do that because we can't afford it, the odds that one of the partners already makes more money than I do is pretty good.
Right.
Because, I mean, newsflash, we're not going to give you like,
No.
insight into our exact finances, but we are not in the top anything percentile of income level.
No, we've never made six figures or even necessarily close to six
No,
figures.
realistically, the reason we live in the house we do is because we found land that was really inexpensive, and we prioritized building a house instead of living the high life.
Yeah.
You can easily blow through $100 to $200 a week on little purchases.
You definitely can.
So we prioritized that Micah could be a stay-at-home mom, and we did that by like, how long has it been since we went out to eat at like a legit restaurant that you sit down at?
Last fall.
Yeah, that was the last time we went out to eat. And that's a choice. That's like, given what we are trying to do, that's not something that's in our budget.
So we should just say, right, like, it's completely a lifestyle. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, you make a few choices here and there.
Yes.
Like, if you actually want to be a stay-at-home mom, it's a complete change of everything.
If
you haven't,
if you're at our income level,
if you haven't been used to it, and you're trying to get there, it literally would, like, everything in your life has to change.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to. The thing is, you also have to. It's not just like lifestyle changes; it's a total mental change about how you approach what you prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have never in my life, and it probably has shaped the way that I think of new cars. But like, it isn't. In my life, I've never been like, I want to buy a new car.
No, I've never cared about that at all.
I could care less now about getting a new car.
There are people who care about that, so maybe that would be hard for them.
As Dave Ramsey says, people buy really fancy cars so that the person you pull up next to in the stoplight that you will never see again for the rest of your life will probably say, that's a nice car. And that was $90,000. Gone.
Yeah, but we also don't agree with Dave Ramsey on everything.
We don't.
Because he would probably tell me to not be a stay-at-home.
Yeah, he totally would. Or he'd
get
be
out
like,
of debt.
yeah, he would tell us that we should sell everything we have and put our kids in public school.
He would say, eat rice and beans, and you can't, and you need to go to work till you're out of debt.
Yeah, and that actually just happened for you. You did just go back to work.
Well, okay, so we should say I'm starting a little side hustle because I have an agency now, but I don't, like, it's too soon to say if that's even going to be anything, like, if it's going to help at all.
But
however, I guess it's going to be work, but I'll still be at home. I'll go
You're
from
not
a
leaving.
SAHM to a WAHM.
But the other thing is, like, that doesn't denigrate the fact that we could continue doing what we're doing now. Yeah. Without that. I'm just saying that it would be
since our first baby was born.
Yeah.
We've been doing this.
And actually
that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, and actually every time someone tells me, like, we can't afford, every time I read that someone says, yeah, that's all well and good for you because you clearly have the income to support it, I want to be like, because I've actually heard people say that to my face.
Yeah. No, people literally will look at you as a stay-at-home mom and say, that's impossible.
Right. And the next thing is, like, I have had people, at least in my previous job, who have said, that's great for you, but you make enough, or like, I could never do that. I can't afford to do that. And I know for a fact they made more money than I did.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of the sacrifices that we've had to make?
Well, we don't eat out much. Like, 3 times a year, maybe?
Yeah, not much at all.
Like, at a sit-down restaurant, we will occasionally order out to go pick it up, but it's not like we're ordering out, like, steaks and stuff.
No, we'll do, like, special Chinese takeout once in a while.
Yeah, and there's that. We do not buy even remotely new cars. Like, our cars are not even, like, in the last 5 years.
No.
Like, our cars will be 10-plus years old. And the thing is we maintain them ourselves. That's the other thing is we do not pay anyone to do any maintenance that we can do ourselves.
True, yeah.
And
like you
so
change our oil.
I change all of our oil. I change all of our brakes.
You do some work if it needs something you can do.
Yeah, there's stuff that I can't do because I don't have the equipment, like change tires. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't make tires from, clover in the field. It'd be nice if I could. But
we don't have luxuries. What would you consider a luxury? I'm thinking like
Coach bag.
I don't go to the spa.
Yeah, you don't go get manicures. You don't get your hair done.
We don't get haircuts at all.
I cut my own
professionally.
hair.
Chris cuts his own hair, and we don't I don't get work done. Like I haven't gotten my plastic surgeries that I want to get.
Ooh, yeah, for the larger earlobes you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a beauty standard I'll just never be able to reach.
That large earlobe. Yeah, and we also we look at. I think we look at it. It's I think I've heard it referred to as girl math, but it applies to me more than you. I think where I'll look at like something that needs to be done, and I'll be like, okay, well, we could pay someone to do that and just be out that money, or we could buy the tools to do it.
Yeah.
And that it still would cost us the same or maybe even a little bit less. But at the end of the day, we would still have the tools. Like a good example is when we ran water and power to the garden. Because we needed water at the garden. And we were running like really long hoses across our yard. And they were potentially getting hit by the mower and stuff. So I finally last year I was like, I'm going to run water to the garden. So I dug a trench. And you need a specialized tool to drill a hole in a concrete foundation. And it's called a core drill, and it is a water-cooled drill. So to rent one was like $250 for the day. Mm-hmm. But I'm always in the back of my mind going, like, what if something goes wrong and it takes more than a day? Because then you're like, okay, well, we could be into this for $500 or $600 just for the drill.
Right.
So I said, let's look and see if we can find a cheap one. And I found a brand new cheap one for less money than that. I bought it. All I needed it to do was drill one hole. Mm-hmm. It bored a hole in the foundation for us. Then we turn around and sell it for basically what we bought it for.
On Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, and so I think that's like a lot of people always, they tend to think in this vein of like, I heard someone say that you have to do it this way. And so when people a good example was like the backhoe, people think, oh, I need to pay an excavator to do that because I don't have an excavator. Mm-hmm. Or I have to rent an excavator to do that. Yeah. And the reality is, for the same price, you can own one, and when you're done with your job, sell it.
Yeah, but not everyone would probably feel comfortable using a big piece of machinery like that, or like not know how to set it up, or not know how to fix it if it broke. Like you are able to do that kind of thing.
I did spend a lot of time on that thing before I did anything with it, and welded a whole lot of reinforcement to it.
Like there are people who would just be really overwhelmed by that, and they'd rather pay somebody.
But it's so fun.
We don't have we
don't have cable television.
Nope.
We have no streaming subscriptions.
Nope.
We don't
have a TV.
We don't have really expensive phones that we swap out once a year.
Yeah, my phone's kind of expensive. I have an
iPhone. But it's like an iPhone 9.
Yeah, it's not the newest.
Yeah, you didn't buy the first iPhone off the conveyor belt for $2,700.
Our house build was as cheap as we could pretty much make it.
So I know a lot of people ask this question about how much our house costs us to build.
Yeah.
And before we're not going to give exact numbers because it's
well, we're still paying it off. We didn't
right. We didn't just buy it in cash.
In cash as we went.
Yeah, no, it's got a build. We had to get a building loan for it, but you're going to hear a lot of people quote this number, and it is so irritating because it's usually quoted by people who have never built a house, don't own a house, and have no idea what houses go for, even in their area. They will quote the average new house build costs $495,000. And the problem is they miss that word average, because for every house that's $1 million, there's another house that was built that costs $130,000.
Right.
And so they all average out to $475,000. And yes, that is higher than the average nowadays, but there's a couple reasons for that. One, when we were looking for plans, finding a house that was like normal size was very difficult. They're either tiny homes or they're huge. And they're all designed by architects to be fancy, and we didn't need a fancy house. We needed a fairly simple house.
Yeah.
And fanciness costs money. And so while we're not going to give you exact numbers, we can tell you that our house was nowhere near the average.
Yeah.
It was, so that's one of the ways we saved money, was that we didn't build the average home at 475, whatever the average is nowadays.
We don't do a ton of like vacations and traveling and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and when we do, we don't go far.
Yeah.
We can't because
we haven't lately.
Yeah, I mean, we did take a trip to Belgium when we only had one kid, because we figured if we were going to have more than one kid.
Yeah, we were like, if we ever want to go to Europe, we should probably do it now.
We should do it now, and I'm kind of glad we did, because it was right before COVID.
Yeah, the next year was 2020.
Yeah.
And then simple birthdays and holidays. We keep birthdays are so incredibly simple. For some people, people live so differently.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, oh, it's so simple. And then I'll get comments like, oh, you think that's simple? Well, I don't do even half of that. Well, for most people, this is simple. We just blow up a pack of balloons. I make a birthday cake. I ask them what kind of animal they want. And then I will make that animal to the best of my ability with a little cake I baked. And I'll decorate it. And then we give them like 2 presents, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. And our oldest, she'll have some friends over.
Yeah, but none of that costs us any money.
It costs like very little. And Christmas, same thing. We got them 2 presents each this year.
Yeah, and when we get presents for other people for Christmas, we don't really get them. We make them. We make candy. And I actually really like that.
Yes.
That tradition of like, you get a basket from us for Christmas, and it contains all this stuff that we worked hard on, and it took us time and effort, and it's delicious, and it's good, and it's useful. And
we're not going to go blow a bunch of money on something that you may or may not even like.
Right.
Or a gift card.
Yeah.
Which I love getting gift cards.
I do too. Do you have gift card anxiety?
What do you mean?
I've told you about my gift card anxiety.
Like you were worried that you won't buy the right thing? Or
that I'll like waste it. Like I get this fear that I'm going to waste the gift card.
You know what I like is getting a gift card to a place where I don't actually like shopping, because then I always know I can spend it on like the really practical stuff that I don't normally want to buy for myself. Like I'll just like get like some socks or like something really, really basic, and I always really like it. Like sometimes if I get a Kohl's gift card, like I'm not ever gonna go to Kohl's, but I'll go online and buy like a pack of socks or something.
Right.
Anyway, what else do we do?
Yeah, I mean that covers a lot of it. I think a vast majority, well, no, all of our clothing is secondhand. That's a big one, actually, for especially if you have kids. Buying kids brand new clothes is really expensive.
Yeah. Oh, so when we were in Sturbridge Village last year, I bought our oldest a sweater. It was like $17.
Used?
No, at Walmart.
Oh, yeah, so that's Walmart. Like,
right.
I'm talking
I was like
people go to like the children's place.
I don't normally buy her new clothes.
Yeah.
I'm so used to getting like we are blessed with a thrift shop nearby that has all the kids' clothes are $1 each, no matter what it is. So we just go there and we pile up on leggings and shirts and whatever they need. And you can spend $35 there and come out with 2 giant bags of clothes. So when I had to buy her a sweater because she was ill prepared, I was like, $17, that's so much for one thing.
Yeah, it is expensive because we're in the mode of like, it shouldn't be that much.
No.
But we're on the flip side of that. We do feel, because I don't want to diminish people's handmade goods either, because I do think that a hand knit sweater should be worth $200.
Yeah, but not from Walmart.
Some sweater made in India.
A sweater, oh my goodness, that's worth way more. But
and so I would spend money if I had it on.
But no, and like quality clothes that are gonna last, like
but not
natural
for kids.
fibers
That's
and that kind of thing.
Not for kids because they'll outgrow them so quickly.
Yeah, although quality stuff does last a lot longer.
Right, but
and,
again, if
and
you...
they hand them down to siblings.
They
and
do,
stuff.
but when it gets to the last sibling, it's like they wear it for a year and it's too small for them.
Maybe, yeah.
So for adults, that's fine. But the other thing is, even for adults, in our house, I don't think I've ever... I get new clothes for Christmas periodically. I'll get like a new pair of pants or a new shirt. But for the most part, all my clothes are from the thrift store.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm not lacking in the fashion department.
And then I get some free stuff that people send me, which I really appreciate.
Our friends give us stuff, especially kids' clothes that their kids have outgrown.
Oh, that's true. We get some
huge.
Hand-me-downs. I love hand-me-downs.
Yeah, and because of your presence on social media, you do get some things that way too. Yeah. From people that follow you and
should we talk about homeschooling, because that's part of the lifestyle?
It is, yeah.
So one of the people that I've gotten into a conversation with this, they were like curious, like, how are you doing this? It's impossible, whatever. How are you doing school? And like, what about their school books and their college? Now, I'm not going to get into college yet. School books, I think, okay, so I've never had kids in public school, but I'm thinking there are some things you need to purchase for your kids for public school, right?
No, there are not.
Nothing?
Usually. Like pencils, notebooks.
Like, what about they're like, oh, today's whatever day. So
I mean,
need to get like cupcakes and like special accessories.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. Yeah, and actually if you add that up over a year, it's probably more than school books.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, there's still stuff you have to buy in public school.
Yes, there are, just not books.
Like, it's pajama day or like silly hair day or whatever. Like, they're going to need this or this or this. There's stuff you have to buy. I don't think I spend more than what somebody would buy for a public school kid.
No, and you get all the stuff you need for the year.
You can get secondhand school books. You can get cheap workbooks on Amazon. You can get library books.
Digital stuff.
Online, whatever.
Subscriptions for stuff.
People really like Charlotte Mason, and I use her. We don't do Ambleside Online for everything, but there's this free resource, Ambleside Online, and I use her book list just for our oldest reading list, just for her free reading.
Yeah.
I get all her free reading selections off of there because I know they're going to be good quality books, and we just order them from the library, and all of that is free.
Yeah.
And then we get a lot of workbooks. I would say between her math, I always get her new math curriculum. This year we got a new history curriculum. And I think all said and done, it was less than $200.
Yeah, like $120 to $150.
So, I mean, that's maybe a lot of money, but it's not like crazy, right?
No, and then, we don't know as far as like high school level stuff when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Because like right now for science, there's so much stuff in your house that you can do for science.
Yeah, Chris has been doing science with her.
Yeah.
And they've been doing like experiments.
Yeah, and we have so much stuff just in the house that you can do, like, there's probably 4 experiments all by itself with like baking soda and vinegar.
Right.
And actually I'm going to do one with her on Friday where we use the baking soda and vinegar to make CO2, and then she's going to use it to put out a candle.
Nice.
You can capture the CO2 because it's heavier than air, and then pretend to pour something that's totally invisible, and it will put out the candle. Anyway, for elementary science, you don't need like really elaborate science. We're not dissecting frogs.
We just use notebooks. She writes her little scientific theory.
Yeah, we started with scientific method.
I write all of her history quizzes.
Yeah.
I just like look at what we read and write down questions.
Yeah, and she's reading probably right now. Having taught in a public school, I would say she's reading at a higher level than most of my 11th graders were.
Yeah, and she's not like a genius kid.
No, she's not.
She's just a normal kid. But
she's been equipped with stuff that interests her.
Right.
And that helps you to learn faster.
Yeah.
And most of it, again, we comes back to doing it cheaply and realistically. The library is free.
Yeah.
Like the public library, almost every town and every small town in America has a public library that can get you books from even a wider library system if they don't have what you need.
Yeah, we go online on the, ours is the Southern Adirondack Library System. So they have a website, and any book in that system, or any library in that system, if it has that book, it will send it to your local library.
Yeah.
So you just order it and it goes, and we come in and we're like, hey, we ordered books, and we always have a giant stack. They're like, oh, you sure do have books.
Yep. And some of the libraries in that system, even though we're in a small town, some of the libraries in that system are actually pretty huge. And they have a large... And then there's the other thing I think a lot of people don't realize is that, okay, you go to your public library, they don't have a large library system, but you're near a university. Guaranteed, if you talk to the librarian at a university... Oh,
you think so?
Yeah, you probably can get in and access the library at a university.
Oh, cool.
Especially if it's a public college.
As far as college goes, I mean, I was just listening to a podcast on Farmhouse on Boone.
Yeah.
And Simple Farmhouse Life is her podcast. She talked to a lady, and I don't know her name, I'm sorry, but it was a recent episode. She talked about college. It's her job to talk to young adults.
Yeah.
And guide them through like what their future career should be.
Yeah.
And she was saying the actual statistic of jobs that require a college degree is
very
like
small.
7.5%.
Very tiny.
7.5%. And yet it's like it's kind of given, like after high school you go to college.
Have to, yeah.
It's like the thing to do.
Well, and the crazy thing to me that drives me nuts, and this is like, for anyone listening that doesn't know us, we are both college educated adults.
Yeah.
We're not like people with a high school diploma that are saying, we don't need no college.
And you probably use your degree, right?
Well, no, not really. I have a master's in cybersecurity, and I don't really use that much.
Okay.
So, yeah, that by itself has opened doors that probably would have been closed.
Right.
But the reality is, for someone with my degree versus some guy who runs an excavator every day, guaranteed the guy who runs the excavator every day makes almost the same amount of money as I do.
Yeah, I'm not going into being a parent thinking our kids have to go to college.
Right.
That's not where I'm coming from. It may be they want to be a nurse or a doctor or something.
Sure.
Something that they would need
require it, yes.
But there's another big chance that they may not need to go to college. And if they do go to college, I don't totally assume that we would be paying for all of that.
No, honestly, why would we be on the hook for that? Because I'm not saying I don't want to help my kids out, but we would
definitely help them if we could.
can. Yeah. But at the same time, when you're going to college, you need to understand that someone's got to pay for this, and that someone, in our case, is gonna be you. You know, like
the kid.
Yeah, like when I went to college, I paid for my college for the most part.
You paid for my college?
I do. Yes.
My grandma.
Yes, I know. Woe is you. But
she thought it was really important for women to go to college no matter what. And I didn't have any direction. But she was like, you're going.
Yeah, so you did something you liked.
I did something I enjoyed, and I haven't used it. But, you know,
even after you graduated.
I don't regret going. I think it was a blessing. But I don't think it's something that was necessary.
And this in no way, like, we're not intending to, like, shame people who go to college.
Oh, I don't know.
Because we definitely think there's times and places where college is really useful.
I am so glad that surgeons have gone to college.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, even in my field, while there are people who work in my field that don't necessarily have college degrees in what I do, what college did for me was it shows you some basic stuff. And anyone who has gone to college will tell you the same thing. When you get a job in your field, you will walk in the first day and not have the faintest clue what you're doing, even though you went to school for 4 years for it. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that there are people who have gone to school or have never gone to school for it, but what they don't know is that because they never went to school for it, is there's this whole history behind what I do that they've established the correct way to do things over the last 50 or 60 years. And they're done that way for a reason. And someone who has never gone to college has to either learn that on the fly, or if they're never taught it on the fly, they won't know it. And so it gets to be a little frustrating dealing with them because they feel like that is the way they do it is the way it's done, and that there are better ways to do things.
Yeah.
That I have learned from going to school for it, that I'm not saying is always the right way, but it's at least the established way that's been established by a number of people. And so that would be kind of like a doctor going to school or not going to school, like in the 18th century, like learning how to pull teeth by yourself.
Yeah, they
versus someone being like, if you just take the pliers and turn them the way they're supposed to be used and twist them, you don't spend a half an hour yarning on the guy's teeth.
I'm so glad we don't live in those times.
But like, there's a reason that there's a specific way to do things that has been established as the most efficient way.
Now, what would you say? Say the wife really has it on her heart, truly, to stay home with the kids.
Yeah.
But the husband is not on board.
Hope he comes around.
Yeah, honestly.
It's not going to work.
Like,
it's not going to work.
It won't work. I really feel that way.
Yeah, you're fighting. You're creating tension in a marriage that is going to ultimately build up to a point where it overflows, and who knows where it's going to overflow or when or how. But I feel like if you're not on board with your spouse, same thing with finances. Like, if you're not on board with your spouse's financial decisions, like it's gonna be a point of tension in a marriage. And a marriage is already like two people.
A marriage is what? What is it?
I'm saying it's two people that are trying to learn to become a cohesive unit. Uh-huh. And if you add tension to it, you've already got two personalities that are already. I'm not saying that we bump heads on everything, but there's definitely some times where...
What are you talking about?
Wow. Never mind. You're perfect.
Just kidding. If you are listening to this and you are not married, please, before you get married to someone, if you feel like you will want to stay home with your kids... at all.
Yeah, that could be a red flag.
Please ask the guy you might marry if that would be something he's on board with.
And make sure you get a solid affirmative, not a... Sure, that sounds
like,
good.
Down the road, whatever, we can think about it.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge. No, you gotta have... He needs to be excited about that.
Like, yes, I want you home with the kids. I want you to be a stay-at-home mom if that's what you want.
Yeah, and he needs to be like excited for you to stay home and like looking forward to the day.
Not, don't marry him, because honestly, I can think of nothing more miserable than me longing to stay home with my kids and not being able to.
Yeah, especially when they're little.
Yeah, it's like when they're little, you can't get that back.
Yeah, not only can you not get it back, but like. That is the crucial time to be a stay-at-home mom if you're going to be one.
Yeah.
Because being a stay-at-home mom when your kids are 14, like, I'm sorry, you're not having the same effect as when they're
they still need you, but not like quite in that
not
same
like
way.
they do, yeah.
So, what are the rewards of me being a stay-at-home mom?
Well...
The reward for me is I get to snack out of the fridge anytime I want.
That is a pretty big one.
I can just like put on music.
Must be nice.
Just have coffee whenever.
Now that's one thing I do have in my office is a Keurig and a pack of K-Cups, maple French toast K-Cups in my drawer.
Yeah, but like if I want to go for a walk in the forest, I can do that at any time of day.
Well, I can go for a walk across a parking lot. So nice.
I appreciate you.
But...
we save money.
That's the other thing is you're saving so much on childcare.
Yeah.
Because if your kids, especially if your kids aren't like public school age and you're not sending them to public school, I feel like there are times that the wife goes to work simply to pay for going to work.
Between gas, work lunches, and childcare, I mean, you are almost like, I used to work at a grocery store.
Yeah,
so if I was still working there, I would be spending my entire paycheck.
Yeah.
It would be pointless.
Yeah, like unless your wife is making like $500,000 a year and she's gonna retire in 5 years, like at that point I'd be like, I don't know. Like if you could swing that, maybe. But
obviously spending more time with your kids.
Yeah, that's that's one of the biggest things. Is that your kids, I don't know, a stay-at-home mom has this development with her children. And, I feel like I'm closer to my kids because you stay home with them.
Oh, okay.
Because they're not detached from their parents all day for us. And so that's a reward for me is when I come home, they've been with you all day. Mm-hmm. And so they've never been far from one parent. So when I come home, it's like, oh, the other parent's here. Yay.
Aww.
I gain that aspect of it because you stay home with them.
Yeah.
It's like multiplying times 1.5 when you come home,
Aww. And we can raise our kids with our own values and whatnot. Like
that's
they're not
another huge one for
under
us.
influence. Like even being around other kids, like you can't really control what other kids are doing around
you.
Your
know what
kids.
I hate is when people are like, your kids are never going to be bullied, and that builds resilience. And I'm thinking there are probably thousands of studies that will prove that stupid. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. That is stupidity. To think that your kids being bullied builds resilience. Mm-hmm. All studies indicate that kids being bullied develop horrible self-esteem issues. They develop anxiety when dealing with other people. Like all of these mental disorders that are associated with feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
Like I want my kids to feel like they can be a little weird and not be bullied for it.
Yeah.
I'm glad my kids don't have to be
right
exposed to that. And as much as people are going to be like, well, your kids are sheltered then.
Well,
yes, my kids are sheltered.
And I always think of the Corrie ten Boom quote where she talks about her dad. She asked him something and it was an inappropriate word or something.
Yeah.
And he handed her his heavy luggage and he goes, "Can you please carry this for me?" And she tried and it was too heavy for her. So he said, "I'm your father and I'm going to carry the things that are too heavy for you right now." And so she knew that her dad would protect her from things that she was too little to understand.
Yes.
And so she was in that way sheltered as a child. But she went on to endure like unimaginable horrors.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be like unsheltered as a kid to be able to withstand that stuff.
That's the thing.
Like she had a beautiful childhood and then grew up and had that basis to be able to endure that awful concentration camp. And so I don't think there's any merit to saying that you need your kids to be like toughened up or whatever.
Yeah, sheltering your children when they're little is a very good thing. That's your job as a parent.
It prepares them more.
It prepares them. It equips them to develop a sound, solid understanding and mind so that when they are bombarded by things like that, they can relate to them rightly. Mm-hmm. That would be the same thing as being like, I mean, that's the same concept because the word shelter actually applies. Are you going to send your 6-year-old out into a thunderstorm and say, you know what, toughen up, kid?
Right.
You'll get used to it after a while. Oh, you got struck by lightning, toughen up.
Yeah.
Like, that's not sound parenting.
No, it's not. So what tips would you give someone who wants to move towards a stay-at-home lifestyle?
I think you need to start making lifestyle change, like whole mental shifts of like where you are going to have to sacrifice, and you're going to have to be okay with those sacrifices.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to stick with it and want to be and make it through as a stay-at-home mom if you're always longing for the things that you gave up and not seeing the fruit from the things you were gaining.
Right. So if it's something that's really like you're desiring it more than anything, like so I've heard like it might help to start living on one income while you still have two.
Yeah.
But if you're not able to do that, you might someone might have to move. Someone
I know, and that's the hard conversation.
They might have to go down to one car. They might have to like really make big changes.
But I also think too, like, and I've even heard this from like people who are living on 2 incomes is, what are you going to do if your husband loses his job or whatever? Like, do you currently live like that? That's the next question is, okay, you're telling us, oh, what if your husband loses his job and you have no job to support yourselves? Are you living like someone could lose their job at any time? Because if you were,
Yeah.
then you could be a stay-at-home mom.
Right, that's a good point.
You know, like
Yeah. Yeah,
if you're living on one income,
sometimes you just need to cross bridges when you come to them.
yeah, and that's the next thing is I feel like a lot of people think it's impossible, but things just, man, you'll make it work.
Yeah, like we love our home. We built our home as a forever home or whatever. If I had to like go out and get a job to keep living here, I don't think we would keep living here. We would
sell this house, yeah.
We would sell this house. We would prioritize me continuing to stay home.
Yeah.
We lived in a duplex to get rent income for a long time
so that we could
because
stay
that's
home.
What we needed to do for me to stay home.
Yeah.
And we really hated that house. But we did it because that's our main priority. So I guess when it boils down to this, I think people will know listening, like if it's actually their main priority or not. But just don't say it's impossible.
And if you've listened this far, I would like to also say we are not financial advisors.
Yeah, you can disregard everything we say because we're not experts on anything.
Yeah.
And we only have our own experience.
Yeah, we're just telling you what has worked for us.
But we know a lot of other stay-at-home families, and it's something that we're very familiar with and that we feel strongly about.
Yes.
So
if you listened this far and you haven't unfollowed Micah by now,
we hope that it's encouraging and not discouraging.
Yeah, we don't want to discourage people, and we also don't think less of people because they're not stay-at-home moms.
No, we don't. That's what I'm saying. Don't say it's impossible, but if you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah, we're not going to say, just for us, it was high priority.
Yeah, so if you're the person who actually wants to, then I guess this is for you.
Yes.
And if not, maybe you enjoyed listening anyway.
Hopefully.
And I hope you have a lovely night.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.